Hi, what's going on, guys? We're back again with another video. I really apologize. I got some new technology and nearly forgot how to do live streaming. It's been a week or so since I went live. I was down with stomach flu and wasn't feeling well, so I wasn't able to go live. I am getting better now, but I'm working from home today, and I thought on my break I'll go live to talk about the Eze situation, as well as Rodrygo of Real Madrid, possibly on his way to Manchester City as Manchester City offload Savinho to Tottenham, as well as Jack Grealish on loan to Everton this window. Hi, Lewis. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Hi, Luca. How you doing? Um, this is going to be an Arsenal transfer news show. We are going to talk about other teams, though, primarily because some of those signings, one of those signings were an Arsenal target, which is Rodrygo. So we're going to get into the stream. It is going to be a short one for me today. Saturday is the Premier League is officially back. The season is soon underway, and I just ordered 2 of my Arsenal kits, so hopefully they'll be here by next week. If you're not from the UK and you're a woman looking for Arsenal kits, I don't know why, but North America doesn't seem to sell women's authentic kits. Anyway, that's a whole different issue, but I'm glad that I was able to order it online. No, it's not a call-in show, Luca, but I appreciate you joining. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in on Twitter as well. I know I haven't been live in a while, so I appreciate everyone tuned in. I'm going to get straight into the video, not long to go now. And I am also going to talk about briefly on the first game of the season, which is Manchester United versus Arsenal at Old Trafford. Is Arsenal really signing Rodrygo? I don't think so. I don't think we're going to end up signing Rodrygo. I actually think Manchester City are likely to sign Rodrygo if they pay the 100 million euros. It could be give or take around that ballpark is what we're being quoted. I am going to share some updates on the Rodrygo situation as things stand. I do believe that he would end up at Man City as a replacement in terms of squad space. They're getting rid of Jack Grealish for squad space and Savinho after just one season. And I also think Man City might challenge Chelsea for Xavi Simons. Who you got winning the league? Lewis, great question. Tune in Friday. I'm aiming to do a Premier League prediction show Friday, hopefully. Hopefully I'll have a panel on here like last season, and part of the segment into that show is gonna be how horrific my predictions were last season and how way off the ballpark I was. Of course, I had Arsenal to win the league last season. This season, you got to stay tuned to see who I think is going to win the league. But thanks for asking, Lewis. I'm definitely going to cover that Friday before the season starts. My FPL league is live and active, folks, so I am just going to share that now before we get deeper into the video and focus on transfers and upcoming games. I also do want to say congratulations to Crystal Palace on winning the Community Shield. Awesome game. I mean, penalty shootout, and it was a good game for them. And Glasner, another trophy under his belt. Whether you classify the Community Shield a trophy or not, it's good for Crystal Palace. It does look like Eze is on his way out, if I'm being honest. But whether Arsenal get his signature is one to see and to wait. We are going to talk about Miguel Delaney's updates on the Eze situation, as it's looking like Arsenal could be ready to present a bid to Crystal Palace. As we know, as his release clause expired earlier in the month, so it's now have to be a bid that Palace would accept. I'm just looking for my Fantasy Premier League team code. Those of you that do want to join, there's over 1,800 members in the league. It's the 4th season now I'm running the league. It is a prize league, and we do cover FPL content on my channel as well. I used to do FPL streams. I know FPL Casuals, Lemma, and the gang, if we're back on there, I will be live on their channel on FPL Casuals, which has now been rebranded. But I might just talk about FPL while I do watch alongs and stuff like that, people to target and things like that. Hi, Canes. Thank you for joining. I appreciate all of you. I haven't been live in a while, so I appreciate everyone who's tuned in. Those of you that do want to join my FPL league, I am going to drop the code. I just put the code in the comments. And if you do want to join, this is the code you type in to manually join my FPL league. It is a prize league, so the top 2 winners at the end of the season will get a £10 voucher of their choice. This is the 4th season I'm running my league, so it is free to enter, but it is a prize league for the top 2 winners at the end of the season. It is very competitive, and to be very honest with you guys, I don't even think I've been anywhere near the top 300 in my own league, which is sad to say. Big up, Moss. And yes, so that's my FPL league there. It's the 4th season running. It is a prize league, so do get involved. Let me know, what your transfer strategies are. There are new chips this season. There's double wild card in the beginning itself, double free hit. There's no more mystery chip, and also double bench boost. For some people, more chips means better ability to plan, but for someone like me, having more options isn't necessarily the greatest. Sometimes you make indecisive decisions and rash decisions that ends up costing me points in my team. Some people go off really strong in the first game week playing a bench boost or whatever to try to get the highest points. I mean, be brave, be bold, and do what you want to do. Some people go all guns blazing in FPL, but I'm looking forward to it. I said at the end of last season that I probably wouldn't play FPL again. I was so fed up with my rank last season. But this season, once the Premier League starts, you get back into the routine of things. So I'm looking forward to it. It has been renewed. So those of you who were in my league last season, it's automatically renewed. It was already automatically renewed as soon as FPL went live for this season. Hi, Maliha. Thank you for joining. Hope you're well. Big up to Moss as well. I'm going to cue the intro, and we're going to get straight into the transfer news segment of the stream. I'm going to talk about Eze. I'm going to talk about Savinho to Tottenham, and I also am going to talk about Rodrygo. The reason I'm going to talk about Savinho to Manchester City is because I do also want to bring up the fact of Manchester City looking likely to get Rodrygo with the situation of Savinho going to Tottenham and Jack Grealish going to Everton on loan. It is looking like Man City are looking to keep that space in the squad to get someone like Rodrygo, and it seems like they'll pay the money. They did do their business early on in the transfer window due to the Club World Cup, just like Chelsea have done, even though Chelsea are still signing players and yet to finalize the signing of Xavi Simons. Whether Man City battle it out for Xavi Simons or Rodrygo, it is definitely one to watch. Hi, Tommy. How are you doing? Good to see you. It is Carnival this month. Hi, Anthony. How are you doing? I went to Carnival 2 weekends ago. My sister, my cousin went. It was a good time. Lots of music, lots of good energy. And if you're from Toronto, summer don't last long here, just like London. So it's good energy, good vibes, and that's all that I'm about, before winter comes down here. So let me cue the intro and we'll get straight into the rest of the stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. So first things first, I do want to talk about, I don't really want to go into the Baliba situation. Baliba, 112 million for Manchester United. If it happens, Manchester United would break the bank in terms of a record signing for them to get him under their wing. Of course, they just signed Benjamin Sesko. I am going to share my screen now, and we are going to discuss the Rodrygo situation. So currently, Manchester City are offloading Savinho after just one season, and he kind of did help Man City in a poor season. He was a good player. He's a young prospect, a good talent, and he's on his way to a permanent move to Tottenham. as things stand, Tottenham are providing a favorable bid to Manchester City. So as Fabrizio Romano said himself today, Manchester City are considering a move for Rodrygo after imminent exits, the exit of Rodrygo and the exit of Rodrygo from Real Madrid to Man City, and the exit of Grealish and Savinho going to Tottenham and Grealish going to Everton on loan. Grealish going to Everton on loan. I mean, Jack Grealish, when he was at Aston Villa, he was quality for Aston Villa. But when he went to that Man City team, I don't know what happened. You know, he's not really been shining. He's not really been the Jack Grealish that we knew him at Villa. And Makate is officially gone now to Nottingham Forest. Hopefully I didn't butcher the pronunciation of his name. Hi, Anthony. Tomorrow is MK Don's Bristol. MK away to Bristol. It'll be interesting to see. It's your team, your local versus Luca's local. So Grealish is gone. Makate is gone to Forest. And Savinho is going to Tottenham. So Manchester City do see Rodrygo as a market opportunity. And Guardiola is a big fan of the player. Real Madrid will let him leave if the player wants to leave, but they're asking around 100 million euros, which is much cheaper than the price tag for Baliba, as Baliba is quoted at 112 million from Brighton. He is a young prospect, and as you guys know, with Brighton, their scouting team is impeccable. I mean, Brighton have their own scouting system, and they tend to do a really good job with their signings. That obviously Chelsea love to shop at Brighton, and you know, that Joao Pedro signing, I am eating my words a bit because I said he wouldn't be a prolific striker if Arsenal were looking at him. You know, I wanted someone like an Alexander Isak. I wanted someone like a Bagsman when Aubameyang first came in and started shining for us. But I am happy with the signing of Gyökeres. I mean, I hope he does well here. And we saw on just the other day in the Emirates Cup his performance. He could have got 2 goals, and it's a good start, and I'm glad the pressure is now off his belt to get that first goal in and adjust to the Premier League accordingly. And we'll see how Sesko does for Man United under Ruben Amorim. But also, you know, they have Cunha, they have Mbeumo, they might get Baliba. They're looking at Donnarumma. According to Donnarumma, earlier on in the window, there were reports that Donnarumma only wants to move to Manchester United. I mean, Donnarumma was absolutely incredible against us and in PSG, and we really struggled. I mean, that PSG attack is incredible, and it's just crazy how Chelsea destroyed Enrique's PSG team. Hi, Ansar. How are you doing? Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. In terms of the Eze situation as things stand, I am looking for the report that Miguel Delaney put in. Also, Zinchenko is now generating interest from Napoli and Fenerbahce. I do think he would end up at Fenerbahce, but we'll see if whoever pays the money that we're looking for. I think Rodrygo will end up at Man City, which leaves Eze between us and Tottenham. Whether Tottenham stop at Savinho or do they want Savinho and Eze is one to watch. You know, having failed to get Morgan Gibbs-White and Morgan Rogers not available, we'll see what happens. You know, Ademola Lookman is still available. His move to Inter Milan hasn't happened because of Atlanta holding out for more money. We'll see what happens with the Eze situation. Now, in terms of Eze news today, I am going to share an article from Miguel Delaney. I believe it's from Miguel Delaney. 1 second while I just get the article up for you guys. That Arsenal are soon imminent to put a bid in for Eberechi Eze. We're not sure what the price tag is going to be. As you guys know, the release clause was around 65 to 68 million. That's before add-ons, and we obviously no clubs activated his release clause. In the Palace celebrations for the Community Shield, you could say maybe he wasn't really celebrating, like he didn't really look too into it. But I don't know if that's promising to say that he's going to sign for Arsenal. But I do hope that we put in we actually put in a bid, because I would hate to see him sign. I would hate to see him sign for a team like Tottenham. I mean, I would hate him to go to a rival. That would really be upsetting. And I think Tottenham are going to rival Arsenal to sign Eberechi Eze. That's one thing that I'm a bit worried about. I really hope that's not the case. I know Indicalia is not really a reliable source, but it does seem like a bid is possible in the next upcoming days. And then the Tottenham news is from the Daily Mail. I'm not going to say this is very reliable source. Hi, Manny. How are you doing? Well, it's been a long time, Manny. How are you doing? I hope you have a good summer. Good to see you. Hope you're keeping well. I know Mr. B canceled his stream today. He was supposed to do a show on Harry Winks to Brentford. I know he's an older player, but I hope Brentford stay up. Unfortunately, I do think they might get relegated this season with them not having prominent attack left. Coleman to Al Nassr. Kingsley Coleman, a lot of Arsenal fans really, shat on him when we were linked to him last window. Because of his age and he's him not being a level raiser. But this kid, Kingsley Coleman, since he was 18, this guy's literally almost won everything possible in football, and now he's going to Saudi to get the bag. You cannot hate a man for that. It's not like John Duran, where he went to Saudi when he was younger for the money to take care of his family or whatever reason it may be. But someone like Kingsley Coleman has won and achieved so much in football throughout his career. So I have massive respects for him, and I hope he does well at Al Nassr. I did see the move officially confirmed this morning that Kingsley Coleman has now signed to Saudi Arabia's Al Nassr. As they possibly going to Bayern as well. Those links were early on in the window. I don't know if that's still going to happen, but 29 titles in 10 years for Kingsley Coleman. Yeah, that's crazy. I am going to share the source that I saw for Eberechi Eze being looked at by Tottenham. And now that Tottenham got Savinho, doesn't mean that Eze is off the cards, or does it mean that they will look for two wingers or Eze to play in midfield? Because Eze can play in midfield or on the wing. But the one thing that I will say that Eze would add to this Arsenal team is creativity. And we need people that are going to create and serve on a platter, give and set up someone like Victor Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres isn't really a striker that's going to create for himself. Even if we had someone like Isak, we need service to get to Isak. We need someone in midfield to be creating. And that's the problem we have with our midfielders, not creating enough chances for the upfront striker. Whether we have Mikel Merino, whether we have someone like Isak, we need creative depth in our midfield. Now, I do need to say this when we're talking about the midfield. Hi, Aruna. How are you doing? We got to do this women's stream sometime next month or this month. I know you hit me up about it. I am definitely interested. I would love to do a stream on the Arsenal ladies. The season is soon underway. I'm looking forward to the season. And, with Renee, I always said, can we just fire her and rehire her? Because she's been amazing for this Arsenal team. And we're the only team in the Premier League, the Arsenal ladies, to have 2 Champions League trophies under our belt. And of course, I will say that with pride. So the situation with Eberechi Eze to Tottenham, there are rumors from Mail Sport saying Tottenham Hotspur may still bid for central attacking Eberechi Eze this summer window, despite also showing genuine interest in Manchester City winger Savinho. And that's from Mail Sport. I do think that it's clear that Tottenham have tried in the past, I think for 1 or 2 seasons at least, correct me if I'm wrong, to get Eberechi Eze's signature. However, Eze rejected Tottenham and stayed at Crystal Palace. I do think this guy has his heart set on Arsenal. He was in our academy. We let him go. He wasn't really, good enough for Arsenal at the time, you could say. We can't do this guy wrong twice in a row. Come on. This is the creative depth we need in midfield. And more importantly, I would hate to go for him to sign for our direct rivals in Tottenham. I can't stand anything worse than Tottenham Hotspur, and you guys know that. So I really hope Arsenal do the right thing and make a bid for Eberechi Eze. There's no official news yet of a bid being placed. However, our interest is still lingering there. I do think we will hear more about Eberechi Eze in the coming weeks because of the Community Shield finally being wrapped underway. With Palace winning the Community Shield, I do think we'll see more movement in the Eze situation this week and next week. Hi, Dan. How are you doing? Good to see you. And hi, Lay African Gruner, Lay AG. How you doing, bro? A long time. Hopefully you're having a good summer. We should link up at a game sometime this season. I do plan to go next month. Is my birthday month. I know some people like to celebrate just their birthday, but I do the whole month. I like good energy. And if it's an excuse to go watch an Arsenal game, you best believe I'll be there. I hope to go to Arsenal Man City next month. It's a week after my birthday. Hi, Juve Cornercast. I mean, you guys have such a player in Jonathan David. I did watch your game the other day. And, outgoings wise, Zinchenko is currently being linked to a move to Fenerbahce or Napoli. I do think Fenerbahce are going to get his signature. Fabio Vieira is also linked to an exit. Reece Nelson, it's looking like a loan to Fulham with an obligation or an option to buy, which is quite upsetting. We can't even get 10 million for someone like Reece Nelson. Previously, we wanted 20 million. I think, part of me thinks he wants to stay at Arsenal, but he's not good enough to stay in that Arsenal team. Plus, in that department, we have a lot of players ahead of him. We're kind of stacked in that department. So now, in terms of squad depth wise, so I do think a loan move is good for him. I mean, rather than us terminating contract by mutual consent. So I think Reece Nelson is looking likely to go to Fulham on a loan with an obligation or an option to buy. It will not just be a dry loan. Fabio Vieira and Kivior. Fabio Vieira, I can see both being permanent transfers as well as Jakub Kivior. I know a lot of people said, hi, Gary, thank you for joining. Wow, all of you are in here today. What date in September is your birthday? My birthday is on the 13th of September. It's on a Saturday this year, so you best believe we're going out and having a good time. I'm looking forward to the season starting. I'm looking forward to football. And, it's going to be good vibes. I am a bit nervous for Arsenal. I just think we're just not ready yet for the season. We still need one or two signings in creative depth, and I'm worried because getting rid of Zinchenko, which leaves us with a half available Calafiori and Lewis Skelly. I'm not discrediting Lewis Skelly, but the availability of Calafiori is extremely questioning. And, a lot of question marks around his availability. He is a good player, but it's something with these Bologna players, Tomiyasu and now Calafiori. He's just made out of glass. And availability is your best ability. And if you're hardly available, then that's an issue. So the thing is with Calafiori, he's hardly available. And then when he plays, he gets injured. We can't really rely on him. And yes, Tommy Skelly is not a left back. He's a midfielder. I agree with you. And, people are saying Timber can play right back most of the season, depending on the situation there. Or, Ben White, we play center back or right back. We have players playing in versatile positions. Mosquera was playing right back when he was a center back before Timber came on in one of the games. And I believe it was before the Emirates Cup game that we lost with Villarreal. So I think, player versatility is a different topic and a whole different thing. But my concern is more us getting good value for the players we're selling and we're trying to sell. We've not necessarily been in our whole history good at selling players. We can't even get 10 million for Reece Nelson. I am worried in the left back situation if we're going to be left short. Center backs wise, I think Mosquera for 15 million. You saw him in that Emirates Cup game. I know you guys are just going to tell me, Mel, it's a friendly. It doesn't really matter. It's just a friendly. But guys, Mosquera is a young kid. And for that price tag of 15 million, the physicality he brings into the game, but also his ability, I saw in the Emirates Cup game, he was quality. He was really good. And I'm quite happy with that signing. So according to Tottenham ITK, one of the reliable ITKs for Tottenham news, he's called the Secret Prem. He says Tottenham is now considering competing with Arsenal to sign Eze. According to the information, Thomas Frank held a meeting with Eze this morning. They want to sign Eze and Savinho. I do need to talk about this mostly on an Arsenal perspective. If Arsenal let this slide and let Eze go to our direct rival, that is horrible. That's a red card offense. This is the tweet right here. Thomas Frank had a meeting with Eze this morning while Arsenal are twiddling their thumbs or working in silence. We don't have Edu anymore to be blaming his barbecues or, him doing a madness with his daughter's toes. I'm going to leave that one alone. But you guys know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. What are Arsenal doing? We really need to get on board with this. Whether we're selling players, whether we're terminating contracts, we need to keep the ball rolling, and we need to keep the ball rolling now. And I said this on my stream before, just because a player has personal terms agreed with a certain club doesn't really mean anything. Sometimes players can turn their word. We were supposed to sign a kid from Liverpool, academy talent for the academy, and he ended up going to Liverpool. It doesn't really mean anything. Should Arsenal sign Jayden Bogle? Wow. How did you know I like him? From Leeds. He is awesome. I mean, I've never seen him play, but man, I'm an honorary Leeds fan just because of Jayden Bogle. I didn't know you saw my comment about him, but yeah, he's very eye-captivating, Anthony. I think he's one of my footballing crushes. Very nice, light skin, good hair, good facial hair. I gotta just go to Ellen Road to see him play and hopefully be able to meet him. That would be incredible. Arsenal play Leeds 2 weeks from now at the Emirates, and then later in the season we go to Ellen Road, which is not necessarily an easy ground to go to. Our first couple of games are probably going to be games where we're digging it out. We're not going to be playing tiki-taka football or boga. So I'm a bit worried in terms of whether we're going to have enough going into the season in terms of creative depth. That's one thing that I think Eze helped solve. I think we would sign him predominantly to play either left wing or in the midfield to bring creative depth to this team. I know he can play either in midfield or in left wing, which is a position we're clearly suffering in. Martinelli and Trossard. Trossard looks like he could be going to Galatasaray. I've heard yesterday that Galatasaray were interested in Leandro Trossard, but there's not yet a price tag being placed. I am going to show you guys that right now. Here it is. Galatasaray are interested in Arsenal winger Leandro Trossard. He's their top target to replace Baris Alper Yilmaz. Yilmaz has attracted interest from Saudi Arabia. So if Galatasaray come in for Trossard, we would have space on the winger department, which would then bring us money and revenue to help us sign Ibrice Eze. Big up Fusion. Fusion's not jazz. Greetings from Jakarta, Indonesia. Big up to you. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining. Big up MX8 Edits. And then we can do it. Hi, Man United fan. Yeah. Hi, Luca. I think that's Luca. Hi, Ansar. He says thoughts on Dan James. I put Dan James on my thumbnail for the Arsenal versus Leeds match. I think he's one of Leeds' better players. But currently, Leeds are looking at Munoz from Fulham, who is a good player. And I think he would be elevating Leeds if he was to sign them. I think he's definitely a level-raising signing for them. But at the moment, Leeds have not put an offer in for him, probably because Fulham are looking for replacements for him first before they get rid of him due to squad limitations, having too many players, and they need to offload some. And as I speak about Leeds, Mr. Tom in the house, My favorite Leeds fan, Mr. Tom. I was just talking about Jaden Bogle. Very, very eye capturing. An apple of my eye, I could say. But 25-year-old. I mean, how? I know he doesn't know I exist, but he's about to know I exist because I ain't gonna stop talking about the right back. Um, and I hope Leeds do well this season, except against Arsenal. Um, Maybe they offload Bamford. We'll see what happens with that. Um, and well, I was just talking about Leeds and Munoz. I think that would be a good signing for Leeds to get him from Fulham, and I think he'll do well there. Do you think Xhaka will do? Uh, do you think Xhaka will do well for Sunderland? Yes, I did. I did see the. Yes, I do. I think he'll help them stay up, but I don't know if it's enough for them to stay up. In terms of Sunderland, I did see Xhaka's free kick on the other day, and he nearly, if that went in, he could have scored a screamer. That would have been an awesome goal. My Anthony Herbert was trolling Leeds alert got triggered. Uh, no, Anthony was talking about Jaden Bogle because I mentioned him in a stream before. I said, Mr. Tom, tell me more about Jaden Bogle. Because I was looking at your squad, and I stopped as soon as I saw a picture of Jaden Bogle. So Isaac is going nowhere, I guess. I disagree with you, Fusion. I do still think that Liverpool will tempt Newcastle to get Isak, and Newcastle. It's now they're in a desperate situation. If they lose Isak, who are they going to get? Are Chelsea going to end up selling to the big six, to a Newcastle? And someone like Jackson, would Jackson go to Newcastle? Will Newcastle try for Ollie Watkins? Will Ollie Watkins leave Villa? I think Watkins would be a good signing for Newcastle, but well, it's one to watch for sure. There's no new updates on the Isak situation though, but I do still think that Liverpool are not yet done in the market, and I do think they will get Isak. I'm quite confident, but there's not been any new updates on the Isak situation. I think the last update was from Indicalia, but you guys know this season, some people saying he's reliable because he got a David Ornstein co-sign in one of those tweets. But man, I don't think that really adds much. And, maybe you can call me wrong for that, but definitely one to watch. I mean, there were rumors that a bid would be coming in the next couple of days for Alexander Isak from Liverpool. So definitely one to watch. And for 130 million, that's a lot of money. But keep in mind, last season, Liverpool only signed Chiesa, one signing, and they generated a lot of money. As you guys know, Darwin Núñez has left on a permanent transfer to Saudi. I wish him well there. Hopefully it works out for him, and, probably got a huge signing on fee. Jaden Bogle is a good lad. Yeah. Oh, he's more than good, all right. MX8 Edit says Wirtz will give him class passes. In that Community Shield game, I don't really think Florian Wirtz was all that. And I know it's just a Community Shield game. It's more like a glorified friendly, people would say. But when I was watching him, he didn't really look as good as Hugo Ekitike or Frimpong in that game. I mean, the standouts for me in that game is McAllister and Hugo Ekitike. I mean, what a signing you have in Hugo Ekitike. And even at Frankfurt, I was saying this guy's a baller. He's really good. He had a good season in the Bundesliga, but to transform that and bring that into the Premier League takes a different level of effort and energy, and you got to give him credit when and where it's due. So hats off, fair play to Hugo Ekitike. He's been a good signing. Can you see Arsenal bringing in another star before the window shuts? I really hope that we sign Eze, at the start of the window when we could have activated the 65 to 68 million release clause. If we wanted to do it, we would have activated his release clause before it expired. I don't know why we held off and we didn't do so. So part of me said maybe we're not signing a left winger or we're not getting a creative midfielder. We really need that creative depth in midfield, or even on the left wing. I think that's also deprived of, especially with Trossard leaving now, likely to leave now to Galatasaray. We need help in that position. So I really wish we got Lookman. I mean, Lookman is a baller at Atlanta. But I don't see us even being linked to Lookman. I mean, some of the links that we've been linked with Lookman, it's been really poor. McAllister was lucky to be subbed on. Florian Wirtz, Salah, and Ekitike was thrilling. I did see Salah miss the penalty, but so did so many other players. It didn't really mean anything. Ekitike was thrilling. I did see Ekitike and McAllister on. I caught glimpses of the game. I was watching Chelsea and AC Milan. Chelsea gave AC Milan a thumping in their friendly match, but not long to go now for the season. Thanks, Abu, for correcting me. Appreciate it. Lookman turned us down. I don't really see, Dan, I didn't really see even concrete links of us even trying for Lookman, so I wouldn't be surprised if he turned us down. I know he really wanted to move to Inter, but Atlanta snubbed the move and wanted more money. At the moment, he's not been linked to a new club outside of the in the Premier League. He's not been linked to any club in the Premier League as things stand. So I think that's just paper talk for now, and I don't think there's any concrete links at all to Arsenal and Lookman, which is why I think Eze would be the best option. And if Rodrygo ends up at Man City, then there's no one really left that are prominent in that position, so to speak, and attainable. Are Arsenal waiting to do sales first, to make some sales first before we sign Eze? That's risky because, as I just showed you guys in this video, Tottenham could snub us for Eze's signature, and personal terms don't really mean anything. Eze could say, I want Tottenham because Tottenham are offering more money, or I want Tottenham because they're giving me more achievable add-ons. I mean, why would you want to play for Tottenham? That's the exact same thing I said to myself when a young player who's only been at Man City for one season would want to go to Tottenham. Savinho. Man City didn't really have a good season last season, let's be honest. And, Savinho had more than glimpses of good performances at Man City. And for him to just say, I want to go to Tottenham, is it Thomas Frank? That's, the plan that Thomas Frank has for Tottenham. Is that tempting players nowadays? It's no longer Ange Postecoglou. It's, our Tottenham starting to build something. And that's, I don't want to see Eze end up at our direct rival. That's a red card offense, and I would be really upset. But I also don't want us to pay crazy, outrageous money and get, played in the market like Arsenal used to, where we would be fooled in the market, or I should say bullied in the market for signing players. And I don't want that to be the case. And I think that's one of Berta's strong points, I will say. You got to give credit where it's due. We're not really getting bullied in the market anymore like we used to, which is a good change. I didn't know Neil Ruddock was a gooder. Oh, that's funny. Thomas the Frank engine. Well, he's cooking something all right in that engine. I wonder what will happen. I mean, I do think it's clear that Tottenham will try to put a bid and try to tempt Eze. Hopefully, he wants to prove himself at Arsenal again. He's a lot more developed now. He's won trophies with Crystal Palace. He's had stellar season with Crystal Palace, one of Palace's better players, and we've had good business relations with Palace before. Matt Turner and Ketia, you could argue. Rob Holding, gone to the MLS now. But we've done transactions with Palace before. I don't know why this is dragging out and we haven't already, spoke to Eze other than just, brief on the surface talks. We haven't presented a bid. We've not done anything formally yet, but definitely one to watch in terms of the likelihood of us signing Eze. I would say one to watch for sure. I don't want to be let down if we don't sign any other incoming players after Gyökeres, because as of now, we have not signed anyone else other than Victor Gyökeres. And I'm not saying that as a disrespect or as a diss. I'm just saying that's the reality that we're in currently. There is still some time in the transfer window, but not enough time if Tottenham were to battle us out for the signing of Eberechi Eze. Bring me Lookman and Eze. Yeah, we need a left winger and attacking midfielder, 100%. I don't think we're going to get another midfielder. I do think the position of Eze would be playing in midfield or left wing, depending on the games and depending on the opposition team we set up against. I do think, as I said before several times, Arteta likes players who have versatility, as they can play both left wing and in the midfield, which is another plus point to his game. That's a no-brainer signing for me, and I hope the club sees that as the same way. With that being said, folks, I am going to close out the show. That's all the transfer news updates I have for you today. But I do also want to say some of the shows coming up. I am going to be doing a Premier League prediction stream sometime this week. The watch along on Saturday, I did schedule Arsenal versus Manchester United away at Old Trafford. I may have to cancel the Arsenal versus Manchester United watch along. I might do a vlog instead. It's looking like I may be going to the Arsenal Gooners pub here in Toronto, the supporters club pub, to watch the game. And I might just do a vlog there and show you guys what the atmosphere is like there. It's going to be a crazy game. It's never all bed of roses when we play Man United, when we play Liverpool. But Man United, the old days, and most of my family, my sister, my mom, most of my family are Gooners, but my mom and my sister are Manchester United fans. So this is personal to me. And I want us to beat them. I do need to talk about this game briefly, though, in terms of who is going to be on VAR and the refereeing. Now, I know people are going to say refereeing doesn't really matter, but man, I need to just point this out. Simon Hooper has been appointed as the referee for Sunday's opening match. All lights are going to be on us in that game. So this is what we got going from Sunday's game. Assistant referees are Adrian Holmes and Simon Long. Fourth official is Jared Gillett. We already know what Gillett has been up to. VAR, Paul Tierney from Manchester. I mean, what better way? You're giving this guy a game, Manchester United game, and he's a mank. And then assistant VAR is Stephen Meredith. I mean, Jared Gillett and Paul Tierney, I mean, what did we do wrong? Like, who did we hurt for you to do this in the first game of the season? Opening game week 1, and we're already getting screwed over. I'm not using this as an excuse, by the way. I'm just saying, how things are and what things are like. But screw the refs. I really hope we play to our strengths and we put up a good fight at Old Trafford. It's never going to be an easy game at Old Trafford, especially with the crowd there. We know what it's like, but our fans also bring the energy, especially the away fans. Massive credits to the away fans. But I might be at the pub for the Arsenal Man United away game at Old Trafford. So if I do decide to go to the pub, I will do a vlog for you guys from the pub, getting my reactions to the goals, and then do a match review stream afterwards when I get back home. Good night, everyone. Good night, Mr. Tom. Thank you for joining your show last week. The wrestling show was amazing. More importantly, it's good to see you back home and back on the mend, getting better in health. We're all so happy for you to be back and back on the air slowly. Yo, Jose, I'm just wrapping up. You just caught the end of it. But thank you, my brother, for tuning in. He says, yo, what's good, everyone? Live from hot as the devil-ass Florida. Okay, you went to Florida. Nice. Hopefully you have a good holiday. How long you down there for? Have lots of drinks. Stay hydrated. Hopefully you get to go to Disney. I mean, it's nice weather there. I know it's really hot here. It's almost 40 degrees here. It's really, really hot. I got a lot of mosquito bites from being outside, but it's not long of summer left. Yo, big up JP. He says, big up Sister Mel. If City get Rodrygo, would they be considered more of title favorites than Liverpool? I still think Liverpool will get Isak. So on paper, you can say Liverpool would be title favorites, but I do think that could change. And City have done good business. I'm not going to discredit them, but if Liverpool get Isak, they're looking dangerous. But even in the Community Shield game, Liverpool in the second half had some issues defensively. I think defensively they can be a bit suspect, which is why they're looking at someone like Saliba. Hopefully Saliba signs a new deal, but nothing has been announced by Hans Vosel or Team News and Ticks about that. And I know every one of those ITKs would have reported it about Saliba signing a new deal. Once there's solid information that Saliba signed a new deal, I would love to report that and celebrate with all of you guys, because he is one of my favorite players, one of my absolute favorite players in this current Arsenal team. I'll be back Thursday, 7 p.m. UK time for more wrestling. Mr. Tom, I would love to tune into that show. And your wrestling shows are unmatched, very natural, funny, and you know a lot about wrestling, and you definitely add interesting engagements and topics. That movie stream that Dan did the other night, that was awesome. Some of you guys, your theories on Back to the Future, that was crazy, but it was good fun. I really enjoyed watching that. Mr. Zhao, thanks for joining, my friend. I know you used to join my Twitter spaces way back when. OG, when is your next stream? I just missed this one. I went live randomly. As you guys know, I don't really notify you guys when I'm going live, but I do tell you guys if I have something scheduled and coming up. I've never been someone to promote myself going live. So if you catch me live, you catch me live. If not, you catch the replay. And if you don't want to watch, you don't want to watch. It's been 5 years of doing this, and it's been 5 years of absolute fun. But sometimes, just like when I started this stream, I went live on the wrong stream. So you're always learning something new every day with YouTube and how things go. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. It's been an awesome 45 minutes with you all. You could have been doing anything, and for you tuning in to my show, getting your Arsenal transfer news fix, but also sharing your views on Arsenal's transfer window and the upcoming season. Not long to go till the Premier League 25-26 season is underway. And come on, you Gunners. Let's have a good game on Sunday at Old Trafford, the Theatre of Nightmares. I'm looking forward to the game. And have a good rest of your evening, everyone. I'll probably be live on Wednesday for another stream, and then Friday. So thank you all for joining. Appreciate everyone who's joined. Thanks, everybody, for your time today. And yes, Jaden, sponsored by Jaden Bogle, of course. Take care, everybody. We're out of here, and I'll see you all in the next one. Please make sure to like the video if you haven't already. Click the subscribe button if you're new. But before you do that, kindly check out my other content as I cover Arsenal women's, Arsenal men's, FPL, and all things Arsenal transfer news, injury updates, and friendly games that we played. Some of the friendly games I did cover. But I am looking forward to the season underway with you guys, hearing what you think of the season, and another season of the Arsenal is back. Hi 305, how you doing, my brother? Happy Monday to you. Nothing happy about a Monday, but 4 days till Friday. Saturday night was crazy. That was a good game with Blue Jays and Otani Dodgers. We finally beat them in one game, but I'm happy with where the Jays are doing in the East Coast standings. Take care, everyone. I'll see you all in the next one. Jose, have a great time in Florida with the family. Don't get too tanned, and enjoy Florida. It's amazing down there. Have a good time with the family. Take care, everyone. Thank you all for your time. Tomorrow, the Gooner Dan will be live for his Arsenal show. His Arsenal show is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Do tune in there. He does quality Arsenal content, and he just recently done a video on if Lee Gunner met Arteta, what would it look like? So do give that one a watch. I will link it in the description or in the comments below. It was an awesome video, more like a skit. And take care, everyone. Let me know your thoughts on the season coming ahead. We will also be doing Premier League predictions Friday for the 25-26 season. hopefully I get a panel on, and we'll all chat later. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Anthony Herbert. Good luck to Bristol tomorrow as you guys play Milton Keynes in Bristol. I don't know if you're going to the game. If you're going to the game, let me know. That'll be cool. The EFL is well underway, folks. It's been good. I'll see you all in the next one. Adios. Thanks for joining.